Hello and welcome to Jumble Lane. In this episode we're going to automate the level crossing. What I've done to start with is to 3D print a frame to replicate the positions of the posts on the gates, and this will make sure that everything starts with the right geometry. I then printed another frame which holds the servo motors. There's 4 servo motors, and these will be moving the posts, and then the gates will be fixed to the posts. This is fitted underneath the layout and will house the electronics as well. The servo motors are adjustable in position to square off and make sure everything aligns properly. I then 3D printed some adapters which will take on the existing fitments for the servos, and then these can be then screwed to the servo motors and then the posts inserted into the top, so the gate posts can fit onto the spindles as such. I then 3D printed a display bezel to fit in a digital display and a button, so I can control the level crossing just from a single button. When it's powered up, it goes through the startup process and then asks you to press the button to either open or close to the trains. Simple as a single button press. I built up a circuit board so I could connect a standard Arduino Nano and a buck converter to stabilise the voltage for the 5 volts for the Arduino. I then fitted some wiring to connect all these together and position everything so it's accessible underneath the layout. We also fitted some posts to connect the servo motors to, and there it's fitted to the frame that sits below the layout, and then you've got the servo motors connected. I've fitted the bezel into the control panel, the layout control panel, so I can operate this quite easily from a standard position. I then marked out the holes where I had to fit the posts. I was fitting sleeves into the holes, and then the posts will go down inside these sleeves, and this would make for a smoother operation. As you can see, the 4 holes are there laid out, and the existing holes are not really in alignment. This is underneath, and you can see that they stick out a little bit, as these will act as a spacer for the final position of the frame. I created the programming for the level crossing servo motors using the Arduino IDE. It's a fairly simple program, it's not too much, it's basic, and I took most of the heart of the program from the Arduino's IDE itself, from the examples. It was just then to replicate how I wanted it to operate, and include the little procedures to do exactly what I wanted it to do when I press the button and open and shut and know where the gates are. And also I had to work out the positions of the gates, how far they opened, how far they closed, and the speed, and everything was correct. They do seem a little bit wobbly when they open and shut, or juddery I should say, but having spoke to people who have actually seen the old ones open, my father included, they all told me that they were manually operated by a wheel in the signal box, and obviously this was an arduous task by the signalman, and it did mean that they did sort of wobble a bit and judder a bit when they opened and they closed. So I didn't try and smooth it out too much, and I was happy with the result. And that's basically how I did it here at Jumble Lane. As you can see, they got the old photograph there of the old gates at Jumble Lane. They do look a bit old and rickety, and bit of a state really. They were changed at a later date to barriers, and I think in the song that Dave Cherry sings, he does mention that the fact the barriers are not gates. So here's a little picture of the gates running, and my favourite song that goes with it. So bye for now.
I've been and done my shopping. It's chucking it down with rain. Siren sounds, gates come down. Not another chopping train. Everybody knows them, everybody hates them Jumble Lane railway crossing barrier gates. There used to be a footbridge we could cross or into town. They close them jumping barrier gates when train leaves Chapel Town. So everybody knows them, everybody hates them Jumble Lane railway crossing barrier gates. Me Uncle Fred, not raising his head, speaks with Sheffield lingo. Na dee and dee da da, I won't jump gala bingo. He come in on the Donny Mex and landed in the town. He couldn't cross the railway, cause the barriers were stuck down. All